Welcome back to the finale of What If Dooku Was a Double Agent. Thank you to those of you who watched the other two parts. To recap what happened in those videos in case you haven't seen them, the Jedi had ensured that Dooku would not betray them after he left the Order by installing an inhibitor chip, but accepting to be the apprentice of Sidious, the Sith Lord had cast his own curse on Dooku, and the Jedi have to find a way to remove it before more destruction could rain upon the galaxy. So Obi-Wan and Anakin travelled to the home of the Night Sisters in Dathomir. The Jedi Master guided the impatient Anakin to the Night Sister lair, and surrounded by several warriors wielding their energy bows, the Jedi asks for their help. Talzin gazes into the crystal ball in front of her, and she sees visions of Dooku betraying Ventress against his will. The leader of the clan decides that they had to intervene before the likely death of Ventress, and she gathers some of the most powerful witches around a cauldron, then performs a complicated ritual. The spell of Sidious was immensely strong, and it could not be removed permanently unless he could be killed, and the Jedi had to procure the information from Dooku before the Night Sisters were depleted of their energy. Using intelligence that had been obtained from a mission to Cato Neimoidia, Dooku had been meeting with most of those of the Separatist Alliance. As he made a move to leave in his ship, the apprentice felt a strange probing in his mind and turned to meet the landing Anakin and Obi-Wan. Through great pain, he managed to tell them that Palpatine had been the one they were looking for before the ritual of the Night Sisters ended and Dooku fell to the ground. The Jedi quickly told the rest of the council of the development, and carrying Dooku aboard their ship, they followed the Jedi Masters from the other worlds in returning to Coruscant. Obi-Wan and Anakin arrive at the foot of the Senate building in time to see Yoda leading a group of the most esteemed duelists to the Chancellor's office. Ascending the turbo lift, Palpatine is surprised to see the Jedi surround him and point their lightsabers, so he summons his own blades, one from the sleeve of his robes, and the other from beneath the dwarty statues that he had decorated the office with. The Sith Lord then surged to his holoprojector and proudly executed Order 66 to all of his clone commanders. Across the galaxy, the clones turned to the Chancellor in confusion, and all categorically denied knowledge of such an order, as Palpatine then turned to the smug-looking Jedi. All of the Jedi Generals simultaneously executed their own version of Order 66, and Palpatine could sense something gravely dangerous in the Force. The Sith Lord leapt out of the window onto his passing ship that had been summoned in time to rescue him, but all of the clone troopers surrounded him, aboard either Republic gunships or police vehicles. The opposing sides were in a standoff when the tired Dooku glared at Sidious, and the Chancellor realised he had been played at his own game. Palpatine leapt onto another building, and he muttered into his comlink for the cyborg General Grievous. After several moments, the Jedi Killer arrived to face the orders of Palpatine, which were to eliminate everyone on sight. The Kaleesh warrior rotated his 4 lightsabers at immense speed, and anyone crossing its path was met by an untimely demise. Mace Windu stepped in front to prevent more deaths, but as he repelled each attack, he found Grievous was learning all of his moves, and he leapt back. Using his Shatterpoint ability to find a weakness around the cyborg's torso, he reached out with his hand and crushed its chest, leaving him open to the remaining clones. The distraction allowed Sidious to make an escape, but he was being chased by Dooku and his Solar Sailor. With the help of a squadron of Nantek starfighters, they surround the ship of Sidious, and they draw him into one of their dreadnoughts. The Sith Lord did not have time to leave his ship before the droids fired at him, and he burst into flames along with his ship. Master Yoda had been the first of the Jedi to catch up to the Separatists, and he immediately offered Dooku for a return to the Jedi Order. The Count refused, as he still saw the same flaws that had got them into the war, but he agreed to shut down the droid army by deactivating the droid control ship. The Grand Master returned to the temple, and as he gathered the council members, he decided that their involvement in politics was over. The Senate took control of the clone army to protect themselves from further attacks, apart from the 501st Legion and 212th Battalion, who had rebelled against the Republic control to stay alongside their Jedi generals. Anakin soon revealed to the council of his marriage to Padme, and despite initially wishing to expel him, they feared they could not control him like they had done with Dooku, and allowed him to stay in the Order, eventually making him a master. Yoda hoped that Dooku would remain the last of the masters to leave the Jedi Order. That is it for What If Dooku Was a Double Agent. If you enjoyed this What If, please like this video, turn on that notification bell, click that subscribe button on this channel, as well as on my other channel What If Films. And as always, leave a comment on what if you'd all like to see next, and how I can improve my videos. Thank you all very much for watching, and see you next time.